Good evening, Vikings, and welcome to tonight's contest between your Niles North Vikings and the Loyola Academy Ramblers. My name is Anthony Bramley, and I am joined by
Yashiro Waldron.
And we got a great game coming up for you. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about our lower levels. We had the freshman A team beat the Ramblers in 2 sets, and Yoshi, I believe you and the JV team did the same, right?
Yes, we had a hard-fought battle going both ways, but at the end of the day, we got the win.
Fantastic. Lots of standout plays. This is a JV team with lots of potential. As, of course, the program ages. Got this one student athlete, Landon. Great hustle on the kid. I'm sitting there in the stands, Yoshi. I'm sure you saw. He starts running right toward me. I'm like, oh, my goodness, dude. Slow down, pump the brakes. But he gets the ball up. Vikings get the point, and that's the type of commitment that this program teaches to its players.
That is absolutely correct. It's one of those amazing things that Landon can play both offense and defense so amazingly. He's one of those setters that can set the ball perfectly but also dive for a perfect ball.
Yeah, definitely. Love those all-around players. And let's talk about yourself, Yoshi. How do you think you did today?
I was off to a little bit of a rocky start, but as I warmed up into it, I was able to get some good digs. I play libero, so I was able to support the defense on the team, and we were able to get the win, like I said, so yeah.
Definitely. Yoshi and the other lib on the varsity team, Rafael Dunbartolot, have been working at the position for quite a while. They are getting good, and they're both sophomores, so we'll get to keep them as the the years go on. We've been thinking a lot about our graduating seniors. As one of our seniors, our right side, Alex Ford, actually just committed to the D3 program at Concordia University of Chicago. So, he's going to be bringing his great talents from the high school court all the way over to River Forest at Concordia. So congratulations, Alex Ford. I think we're going to get to see him play here tonight as well. So lots of great stuff going on for this program, Yoshi.
Absolutely. It's amazing that we have such great volleyball players that they're able to commit to colleges and still play for us.
Definitely. It looks like we will have some lineups coming up shortly. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about this Viking team. They've been hitting a couple of rough patches, over the past couple of games. Tough-fought battles against Vernon Hills away. Also had a tournament game against Highland Park. Those CSL rivals are looking tougher and tougher. And so, luckily, they got a bit of a break with the Loyola Ramblers, but I do hear that they are ranked 3rd in the state. So this is definitely going to be one of the biggest games of the season and could certainly be a turning point for the Vikings. We're now meeting the Ramblers. And a big thank you to our house announcer, Laura Bendorf, also administrative assistant in the physical welfare department, for our lineups and for our national anthem. Team's getting ready to meet. And Rafael Don Bartolata leading the Vikings up to the net. Both teams hyped and ready to get this matchup going. Octan Errol greeting the Ramblers. Following him, Kieran Tu, Gino Hamoy, Horia Becca, Alex Ford, Andrew Selig, Stefan Toma, and the entire Viking team. There's Loden Tansey, Rhino Kalamutan, David Kishkevich, Tom James, and finally there's Don Bartolat coming out from the Ramblers. And what a ritual we are seeing here from the Ramblers, Yoshi. Gotta love the school spirit and team spirit.
Absolutely. This is probably going to be one of the most fired up games of the season. We have two very great and winning teams going up against each other.
Definitely. I'm not sure if you could hear Rafael Don Bartolat, number 0 for the Vikings, our lib, shouting. Again, the chant started for the Vikings, but that loud voice always comes in handy. This Viking team is always great at communicating, and that's something that starts at the lowest levels, our freshman A and freshman B teams. So thank you to coaches Charlie Long and Adam On for all their hard work. And congrats to Coach Long and his freshman A team again on the win. Our B team with Coach On is currently playing. We'll have some score updates for you throughout. First up to serve, looks like it'll be number 7 for the Vikings, Horia Becca. Serve is over, picked up by the lib, and already a joust at the net. Here's Ford on the right side, and that lib is impressive all over the court. Great save by Hamoy, gets back over to Ford, and cross shot out. It's going to be a point for the Ramblers as we start here tonight. And Yoshi, what do you like about the rhythm of these teams as we open?
They're coming off firing at all angles right now. We have Gino, amazing at defense, locking down, but the Ramblers are not giving up, and they just won the first point.
Definitely. They're 17 on the serve. Set right side to Hamoy, and picked up in the back row. Going to be a back set, an outside attack. Alex Ford, great tip picked up by the Ramblers and put over by the lib. Ford is going to go again. And a lazy pickup from number 7 on the Ramblers. Gets the ball down, and it's going to be a point for the Vikings. Now up to serve, number 6, Gino Hamoy. Hamoy on the serve. Really flat, good job, and set outside for the attack. What a save from 6'5" Alex Ford, narrowly avoiding the antenna and securing the point for the Vikings.
He didn't just nearly avoid it, he got on top of the antenna and brought the ball down. That was an amazing save by Alex Ford.
And, you know, that's what these colleges are looking for. Someone who, of course, has the fundamentals, has the skills, but also has the IQ and the awareness to go up like that. Here's Hamoy. Another great flat serve, picked up, and miscommunication sends it to an outside attack. That was Ford from the back row. Rambler set up on the right side and brought down. Now tied up at 2-2 with the Rambler point. And we see Don Bartolat, you know, just stiffen the legs, reaching for the ball but not committing.
Yeah, it's really hard to commit on those balls, especially for a libero when you don't know which way the ball will go after it gets hit. But here comes the setter with a tosser.
And outside is Selig. Great deflection by the Ramblers and a middle attack. Now Ford covering for the team. And the Ramblers, stuck in quicksand, give the point to the Vikings. Rafael Don Bartolat, number 0, the lib, up to serve. Picked up a bit lopsided and goes, oh my goodness, goes right side. Ball comes down And we are tied up yet again at 3. Subs coming in for the Ramblers.
That was an amazing commitment by Raf. He got the ball up. Unfortunately, just a little bit too hard hit to be kept into play.
Yeah, now here's number 10 for the Ramblers. Serves up, picked up by Selig. And here's Octon Errol. Oh, my goodness. Octon Errol coming out of nowhere in the middle again at the point for the Vikings. This is something that we love to see out of Octon. His efficiency, you know, during the Niles West Crosstown Classic, I think it was just last week, you know, he keeps bringing that ball down. And anytime he touched the ball except for one, he scored off of it. So he's definitely an important tool for the Vikings to use here as they are tied up again 4-4. Ramblers up to serve. And it's going to be their number 1. Selig picks it up and goes to attack. Overpassed, and now the Vikings get another opportunity. There's Errol against them in a frenzy, but this time picked up. Free balled over by the Ramblers, and now here's Selig on the outside, tipped, picked up yet again. Out of system attack for the Ramblers, gets it over. And now the Vikings, Selig's got to be getting tired by now. Ramblers with another answer, this time picked up by Don Bartolod. Middle attack from the Ramblers. And you see Don Bartolod go back trying to get the ball. It's going to be a point for Loyola. And I mean, what did you like about that rally, Yoshiro?
Just the amount of times the ball went over the net shows the pure determination of both teams to win this match. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see. The game is still young. We'll see who will hold out in the end.
Definitely. And we see Selig here again. Hitting the tape, gets it over. Outside, or right side attack from the Ramblers now. And Alex Ford tries to get down for that middle attack, but is not quick enough. Back to serve number 1 for the Ramblers. And into the net it goes, giving the Vikings an opportunity to make another tie, currently at 5-6. This is going to be number 9, Andrew Selig on the serve. Nice and low middle attack. And oh my goodness, then number 5 on the Ramblers. The Vikings will definitely need to adjust, Ryoshi.
That's true. We have to remember the Ramblers have 2 D1 commits, so this is a very good team, and they are sure to score points. So we'll see if our defense can keep up.
Definitely. Now to serve number 7 for the Ramblers. Gets over, picked up by Hamoy. Goes back to him on the outside. Brings it down, and it's a point for the Vikings. Great play by Hamoy and great hustle by Hamoy. Picking up the ball, heading straight to the spot on the outside and being ready for the attack. Coaches are always looking for it. Here's Octon Errol on the serve. Soars out of bounds, but it was a good attempt. Don Bartolod with the middle switch. And now up to serve for the Ramblers, they're number 3. Selig gets it, goes back row right side to Ford. Oh my goodness, great pickup by the Lib. Gonna be an outside attack, stopped by Ford. And Selig back row outside. Ramblers resetting here. Here's the outside attack. Stopped by Tom James and Horia Becca. Tom James, great attack and great pickup from Don Bartolod as the Ramblers send it out of bounds. It's going to be a point for your Niles North Vikings. And we are going to have the officials confer here. And speaking of officials, there is a dangerous shortage of officials in the state of Illinois. If you are 16 years or older, you can apply to be an IHSA official at ihsa.org. You get paid. You get to stay involved in the community. Oh, and they certify the point for the Ramblers. Looks like the ball was touched by a Viking. Now 9-6. But as I was saying, get some money, get involved in the community, and stay active as an IHSA official. It's a great gig. And if you are 14 or 15, you can apply to be a training official, also at ihsa.org. So make sure you check it out. Here's Hamoy. Good tip. And the hops on that number 10 is impressive. It's not going to matter, though, as the Vikings get the point.
Horia Becker to serve.
And just a little bit too flat. Bounces off the tape and back in their own territory. It's going to be Rambler ball. New guys coming in as the lib, number 17, is back to serve. Horia Becca to Tom James connection. Gets it over. Now, good right side attack from their number 7. And another right side attack, this time from the Vikings, and it's stopped by the Ramblers. Another point for them. Ramblers going to get another serve here. Picked up by Don Bartolod. Horia Becca to Alex Ford, and that time he cannot stop it. A little bit too much velocity as the Vikings take a timeout, their first of the match. What do you think Coach Shaw wants to say to his players?
Well, we are rushing just a little bit too much. We want to take a breath, we want to calm down, and we want to get the ball over in a good spot to score points. With the setter right now, he is doing a great job, but he's getting rushed because of the powerful hits from the opposing team. So we need to slow the game down. We need some way to make the ball go higher or make the ball just lose velocity, I guess.
Definitely, and you talk about slowing it down. This has been a team this year that has been known to, sort of panic when the ball doesn't quite go their way. They are very skilled, but not a lot of this kind of stuff is automatic for them. At least it doesn't look automatic when, ball gets tipped awkwardly and, they always get the ball, but it never looks like they're prepared. I think Coach Shaw wants that preparedness, and they want that attention on the ball at all times. And we saw that overpass off the serve from Don Bartolod into Horia Becca. And you're right, it's getting sent into the net, and he's not prepared for it. Kind of a cliche term, but expect the unexpected, And so I think the Vikings will be able to adapt. It's just we've known they've been slow starters throughout the season. Back to serve now, the lib, number 17. Picked up by Hamoy, and back to him. And Horia Becca not ready to pick the ball up. Going to be Ramblers' point, now 13-7. And, you can't necessarily blame Becca there. Very fast ball coming off the block, and you're not always going to get those. Rambler Lib has been going at it for quite a while. Here's another serve. Kieran, too, picks it up. And Horia Becca surrendering his body for that ball. And the Rambler number 10 sends that back ball all the way down Skokie Boulevard back to Wilmette. Impressive hit from the Ramblers, now 14-7. And another timeout here. Yoshi, we see them trying to adjust, but obviously Horia Becca sacrificing his body, not ideal whatsoever. What do you think Coach Shaw is saying now to the players?
I think the main idea is to watch out for number 10. He seems to be the greatest weapon on the Ramblers team currently. I believe there's a little bit of miscommunication between the setter and middle because the middle hits have been hitting the net a little bit too much, or the middle should slide in just a little bit more to prevent the cross shots that have been so effective for number 10.
Definitely. Number 17 again with the serve. And his shoulder might be getting a little bit tired here. At least the Vikings hope. Picked up by Don Bartolod. And middle attack from Tom James into the net. Point for the Ramblers. Now 15-7. We started this game out. It looked a lot more competitive. But now that we're going into it, the Ramblers Starting to get a steady lead here. Lib is going to go serve yet again. And finally out of bounds, the Vikings get a chance here to, take back some power. Up to serve now, number 2, Kieran 2. Great attack from the Ramblers, and again, they're forcing Alex Ford to make that jump. And he got it the first time, but that second and third, he's starting to get tired. Going to be a point for the Ramblers.
Ramblers with a top serve. And it's right out of bounds. Point Vikings. We have Rafael Dambardalai with the serve. Picked up by the DS, over by Haktan Arrow. Free ball over right to the libero. Jorge Becca to Andrew Selig. Picked up. And over. Blocked. Tip ball picked up by the setter. And out of bounds from Alex Ford. Ramblers with a serve. It's blocked, but picked up and recycled over. Amazing dive by the Loyola libero. And it looks like a net touch on Loyola. Point Vikings. We have Alex Ford, the right side to serve. It's picked up by the libero. Middle attack. And it looks inbounds. Point Ramblers. It seems like the Ramblers have gotten their momentum up and have found their rhythm, but the game is still young. Hopefully the Niles North Vikings can bring it back. And it is a setter dump. Amazing pickup. And an intimidation block by the setter. Point Vikings. It's very amazing how much even just jumping and pretending to hit the ball can affect the gameplay. Uh-oh. Missed pickup. And it's a roll shot over. Andrew Selig, roll shot. Big hit, but it's picked up. Alex Ford. And it's wide open. Basically an open net. Found the corner. Point Vikings. Andrew Selig serving. Block by Haktan Arrow. Oh, number 2 got up there, but it is out of bounds. Point Vikings. Oh, it is a quick attack. That looks like a 31 or a 1, and that connects. Point Ramblers. Number 7 to serve for the Ramblers. It's up. Great set. Gino Hamoy with the hit. Oh. That was an amazing block. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much power on the hit. Timeout, Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. Vikings trying to make a bit of a comeback, but unable to follow all the way through. At least so far, they still got 5 points left, but it is not looking good for them. Lots of adjustments need to be made, but obviously seeing some more cohesion on the offense, I think we would say, Ramblers keeping up the dominance, though, as it is 20-13. B team updated. It looks like the Viking B team players won the first set, and they are now in the midst of the second. Vikings coming out of the timeout, as are the Loyola Academy Ramblers. And we are going to get this game going on. Ramblers, number 7, going to keep the serve. Ball gets over, picked up by the lib, and set right side. Oh! And a great spin put on that ball by Alex Ford. There's a reason he's going to Concordia, Yoshi.
Yeah, he almost put the back row defender in a split. So that was an amazing hit. And Haktan Arrow to serve.
Haktan serving from the far side of the court. Picked up a bit out of control, but outside attack from the Ramblers is touched by the Vikings as it sails out. Now 21-14. Ramblers number 3 now up. Picked up by Hamoy, goes back to him on the outside. And is it touched? It is not. Yet another point for the Ramblers, 22-14, and things are looking especially dangerous.
Absolutely. The Ramblers have increased their lead. We got to cut them down. Oh, it looks like a rotational? Looks like a rotational foul.
Ramblers are out of rotation, giving a free point to the Vikings. Much needed at this point as they look to gain a lead. Officials and the Ramblers figuring out the lineup, and play is back on. Here's number 7, Horia Becca on the serve. Outside attack, gets down. Andrew Selig just not quick enough. And the Ramblers now with 23, 2 points away from taking the first set. The lib for the Ramblers back up to serve, picked up by Homoy. And right side attack now from him. Good tip was picked up on the sweep. On his head, outside attack from the Ramblers now. And the Vikings answer out of system. Gino Homoy, though, building the roof. And again, a point for the Vikings. Great job on Hamoy. Again, those hands up. And, of course, getting the ball back over. Vikings thought it was Rambler ball for a second, but now Gino Hamoy has the ball in his hands, and he'll prepare for the serve. Nice and flat, picked up by the Ramblers, and goes outside, or right side, my apologies. And Alex Ford kicks the ball out. Obviously not the intention, but that was just, the instinct, I suppose, from Ford. Ramblers now going to serve. And it is set point here, Yoshi. You think the Vikings will be able to hold them for a little bit longer?
Hopefully. We'll see how it goes.
Don Bartolot picks it up, goes outside to, oh my goodness, Selig reaching far. Ramblers now, right side attack. Brings it down, and Becca gets down but sends the ball out of bounds on the close side of the court. The Loyola Academy Ramblers take the first set 25-16. What started as a very competitive set, back and forth, turned into, the Ramblers getting the lead going. Lots of unforced errors from the Vikings, which was not helping the situation of, the Ramblers being fantastic strikers. So, I mean, Yoshi, how do you think the Vikings approach the second set?
We need to get the energy up right away. We know the big hitters. We know how they play now. We can adapt. We can cover those hitters, and we can come back. We can win the second set, and we can go to a third.
Let's hope. The Vikings have been having, of course, some troubles recently. Some CSL losses in recent games. And also, one of their best hitters, Leighton Biro, is out. He is sick. We're not having an MJ flu game here, so unfortunate to see Leighton Biro go. But that does not excuse the Vikings from not being able to pull together, come together as a team, and, keep going. As a team, you don't want to be relying on one player, and I wouldn't say that the Vikings are, but right now against such a strong and powerful team like the Ramblers, that weakness is certainly showing, Yoshi.
I have full faith in the team that they can come back and become more cohesive. I have no doubt that they'll put up more of a fight in the second set.
Well, let's see. We got about 1 minute 40 until they start. Both teams conferring and getting lineup settled. So in the meantime, we will see you soon. The Vikings and the Ramblers are now reapproaching the court as they prepare for the second set. In case you missed it, the Vikings unfortunately lost to a very strong Rambler team, 25-16. Not a fantastic start for the Vikings here, but we have faith that they'll be able to come back and give them a tough fight in the second. Rafael Dunbartolad, the lib, now approaching for the lineup. Rambler is now going to start with the serve. Their number 3 is up. Where's Jason?
A wild hit over, and it is point Ramblers. Number 3 for the Ramblers serving. And it is short. We cannot have, or not us, but they cannot have opportunities to give away free points like that, because Niles North Vikings will definitely score. And it is 1-1. Oh. An amazing pickup by the libero. A lift call on Kieran 2. That would be point Ramblers. It is 2-1. The libero with the serve, picked up by Kieran 2. Alex leaning way over the side to tip it over. A pickup, but a little bit of miscommunication, and it is another point for the Ramblers. It is the libero for the Ramblers once again, up to serve. And that is Andrew Selig, amazing line shot right down the middle. And the Ramblers are unable to get it up. It is Rafael Dan Bartolai with the serve. It is picked up. Oh, it is killed. The block too big to get over, and it is a point for the Vikings. We are tied with 3-3, and it is Rafael Dan Bartolai back to serve. Middle attack, blocked again, picked up. Middle attack once again, and it was unable to be picked up. Point Ramblers.
Ramblers up to serve, and this is the same type of situation we were seeing at the beginning of the first. Here's 15 on the serve, and it's a big one. Was supposed to go middle, but Becca just doesn't push the ball far enough, and now the Ramblers up 5-3. Again, these silly little errors causing the Vikings to fall even further as Horia Becca comes out. Loden Tansey comes in. That's number 11 for the Vikings. Number 15 for the Ramblers. Good serve again, picked up by Don Bartolot and set right side to Alex Ford. Poor attack, and yet again a Rambler point. Timeout called by head coach Andre Shaw of the Vikings, and it's an early one. It is 6-3 in the Ramblers' favor, but lots of stuff, still happening on the Vikings side that obviously they're not loving. First off, I'm not seeing a lot of, or at least hearing a lot of communication. Usually you want your teams to be loud and proud, but I'm not hearing it, and I'm not seeing the results of it here on the court. Also, a new setter coming in, Loden Tansey. He has been getting a lot better throughout the season, but I'm not sure that all the Viking players are prepared to be hitting those balls. They've had a lot of Horia Becca over the past couple of weeks, and now seeing Loden Tansey in a game like this might be throwing them off. Yoshi, any thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. With a new setter, it's going to take a second for the team to adjust, but it shouldn't take too long. It looks like Horia Becca is coming back in for Loden Tansey.
Yeah. Sub is through as number 15 from the Ramblers prepares to serve yet again. Top serve, great flick of the wrist on it. And Alex Ford tries to put it down, picked up by the Ramblers, and out of system. That might have been a lift, but it's uncalled. Andrew Selig now. Great attack. And Octon Errol gets the ball down and gets the point for the Vikings. And great awareness to be able to just hop up like that, put the ball down. That's what you look for in a middle attacker. And again, we talk about the efficiency of Octon Errol. Almost any time he touches that ball, it becomes a point for the Vikings. So very impressive. There's Alex Ford, hits the tape, and it's going to be a Rambler ball.
Yeah, we cannot be giving away free points like that, but that was a very powerful serve. If that connected, that might have been an ace.
Certainly, here's number 10 from the Ramblers, a tall one. He puts that ball down. Selig on the receive, and there's that was Alex Ford with the kill off of the forced set. Impressive to say the least. But now we have some more momentum in the Vikings' favor. Andrew Selig, the server, now looking to capitalize on it. Low yet again, and it's another point for the Ramblers. You like to see them go for the flat serves, but not working out this time, Yoshi.
No, it is not. And the Ramblers are taking over. They have a 3-point lead now. 22 to start. 22 to serve.
And here he comes. Miscommunication between Gino Hamoy and Rafael Don Bartolot. Luckily, Hamoy was able to put it over. Here's the outside attack from the Ramblers. Deflected by Don Bartolot, and Hamoy yet again reaching back for that ball. Oh my goodness, picked up by the Ramblers off the miscommunication. And Andrew Selig runs with all his might. Just cannot get to that ball, and it's another Rambler point. We saw a lot of mishaps on that rally between Don Bartolot and Hamoy, and then on the Rambler side at the net. Luckily for the Ramblers, they are able to pick it up. Unlucky for the Ramblers, the serve goes into the tape. It's a point for the Vikings. We are back 6-9 where we were first set. Octon Arrow now going to serve one of the star middles here for this Viking team. Soars over, picked up by the Ramblers, and right side attack. That has been the strongest point for the Ramblers. They keep hitting the right side. That's not something that you usually see. But, man, that guy brings it down every time, and he's a reliable part of the Rambler team. Here's number 7 on the serve now for the Ramblers. Into the net, Tom James excited about it, and it's a Viking point. Now up to serve. Number 7, Horia Becca. He was just taken out and put back in after a poor set. Good serve by him. And Andrew Selig selling the dive, but it is going to be a point for Loyola. Subs coming in now as number 3 for Loyola Academy looks to serve. Goes over, picked up by the lib, and right side attack from Hamoy crosses. There's the middle, Don Bartolot on it, and now Alex Ford. Great save there from the number 7 on the Ramblers, and there's Selig saving it for the Vikings. He hits from the back row. Now middle attack from the Ramblers, and that middle attack has been dangerous all night now, 7-12 for the Ramblers.
Absolutely. We have to give props to the Ramblers setter, number 15, for some amazing sets. Those are some hard positions to hit, set from, and he has made it work for his hitters.
Picked up by Hamoy, goes back to him on the right side, and into the tape. They're going to call it 4 touches and a Rambler point, 13-7, and I am getting some deja vu here, Yoshiro. Starting the set out, you know, at least this time it wasn't as strong, but very back and forth as both teams reapproached the court. Now the the Ramblers coming away with it a little bit, 13-7, and it's a score that we saw last set too. You know, you got to admire the Ramblers for their consistency here, Yoshiro.
Absolutely. We can only hope right now that the Vikings can bring the score back a little bit.
And Alex Ford, cross shot and point for the Vikings. That should be a momentum shifter for the Vikings. Getting that adrenaline up, getting the energy going, and, you know, getting balls down like that. That is what Alex Ford is used for on this team. And it's up to the rest of the Vikings now to keep up the momentum. Don Bartolot patient on the pickup as Selig tries to put it down. Hits inbounds, and another point for the Vikings, now 9-13. It's going to be number 2, Kieran 2, back to serve. And things are looking on the up and up for the Vikings now. Picked up by the lib, goes outside, and brought down into the net. 10-13 Vikings. And I'm liking the progression here, Yoshi.
It definitely does seem like we have some momentum back. We have brought the score back to 3, and the Ramblers seem to be making some mistakes.
Definitely picked up by the lip, goes outside again, and that was a tight ball. Does not roll out of bounds. It's going to be a Rambler point now, 14-10. And keep in mind at this point, last set, the Ramblers were up 14-7, so definitely some great, adaptations being made by the Vikings. Line shot. Oh my goodness, line shot from Alex Ford on the right side. Not something that you see too often. And he gets it down quick, Yoshi. I mean, that's a scary guy. Shout out to the Lib and the Ramblers team for even attempting at that ball, but Alex Ford always knows when to bring it down.
Absolutely, and his down balls are quick and they are clean. Usually kills.
Yeah, ball goes out of bounds off the block from the Vikings, and it's going to be 15-11. Ramblers up still. Speaking of 15, the Loyola 15 is going to serve. This is going to be a big one. Great roll on the toss, but just maybe a little bit too much flick of the wrist. Sends it into the net for the Ramblers. Now to serve number 8, Alex Ford. There's a flat one picked up and sent outside. Alex Ford picks the ball up, and almost a collision between Andrew Selig and Aktan Errol, two of the seniors on this, sophomores on this team. Point Ramblers, and it's going to be number 10 on the serve. Another big toss picked up by Selig, and Horia Becca tries the dump. And while it doesn't go over it, it's still a Viking point off of the Rambler touch.
Yes, it appears to be a net touch. The blocker got a little too energetic over there.
Definitely. Selig waiting for the ball. The Ramblers obviously slow to let it go as Juno Hamoy comes in for Kieran 2. Gets it over and set outside. Brought down on Alex Ford, and there's Don Bartolot with the free ball. Great recovery from the Vikings. Unfortunately, does go down from the Ramblers, and this is what we talk about when we say it doesn't look automatic for the Vikings. You know, you see these players running really fast, putting all their might into these balls, whereas a team like the Ramblers, they have a lot more composure, I feel like. Now, that does not negate the effort and the great talent required, for the Vikings to get that ball up, but it does result in a Rambler point off the next hit. Gino Hamoy is going to get the ball again, picked up and sent middle. Hamoy and Atan trying to team up on the block, but are too far off and goes on to the other side. Timeout called by Andre Shaw of the Vikings. And while things are looking a lot better, they're not looking great.
Absolutely. It looks like the Ramblers have regained some of their lost rhythm and are taking over the game once again. And it looks like the Vikings are wearing out.
Definitely. Coach Shaw, Coach Tom talking down there with the guys. There's a lot to work on, but, considering where they were in the first set, I wouldn't be mad at them necessarily. As for the Ramblers, they're seeing a bit more of a Viking threat here, whereas the first set was more easy going. So Ramblers got to keep up the energy, got to keep up the momentum, and, win the game. 10 seconds left on the timeout. Both teams slow to come out, but the Ramblers are going to be first to it. Vikings using all the time. 1-2-3 Vikings, great timing with the buzzer, and both teams are going to reapproach the court. Now with the serve, number 22 off of Loyola. Serve is over, picked up by Hamoy and pushed out to Becca. And Aktan Errol, oh my goodness. Aktan Errol, great hops, great, eyes, man. To go up like that, see the spot, or at least see the, unprepared receiver, and then obviously getting that ball off. It's impressive. He's going to serve now. Picked up by the Ramblers, goes right side, and crosses out of bounds. Point Vikings, and the Rambler lead is narrowing. 18-15 is the score as Errol goes back to serve. Approaches and gets it over. Picked up and right side attack. Tipped picked up by Hamoy, and then Selig, and then Tom James. Great short ball. Ramblers set up the point, and it goes out of bounds, 16-18. Vikings trying to gain control. Horia just had a moment there trying to communicate to the team, but he was where the server would be. It is still going to be Octan Errol's serve. Gets it over. Ramblers set up and go to the right side again. Picked up by Selig. And lazy roll shot from Alex Ford in the back row kills some of the Viking momentum. Now we do have to talk about the Loyola strategy here. You know, they are relying a lot more on that surprise right side attack. You know, they were sort of letting down on it, but as the Vikings reapproach, they're going back to it. They obviously feel threatened by the Vikings. Unfortunately, another silly mistake from the Vikings, and it makes it 20-16. And, you know, I was going to say, the Vikings are starting to read that desperation play from the right side. So, you know, they're definitely growing throughout this game. Vikings take a point off of the service failure. As now Horia Becca, it is now his time to serve. Good and low, and what a save attempted by the outside attacker. That's number 2 off the Ramblers. However, it's not enough. It's a Viking point. Timeout called by the Ramblers. Their first timeout of the match, and they certainly feel threatened by the Vikings here, Yoshi.
Yeah, you could definitely feel the energy coming off the Vikings team as they go into the timeout. We can only hope that the server does not get iced and miss the serve coming into the game.
Yeah, let's hope. Vikings and Ramblers in deep talks now in this timeout. And, I mean, I'm excited to see where this game goes. It is a lot closer than it was, you know, first set. Vikings still down, but now only 18-20. This is a lot more manageable, and I think we could see a Viking takeover here as we close out the second set. 15 seconds remain in the timeout. Vikings come out of it first. The Ramblers juicing all the timeout that they can get. Buzzer goes. The Ramblers just now getting out of the timeout. Horia Becca ready to serve. And, I mean, this could be one of the biggest serves of the season. Gets over, picked up by the lib, and what a dump from 15 off the Ramblers. Nobody on the Vikings was expecting that. We weren't expecting it from up here, Yoshi. And, I mean, great play. Way to see the vulnerability. No one was up there at the net. Slow to come off of the serve. Here's number 3 for the Ramblers. Gets over on the tape, picked up by Moy and Tom James. Great back row attack from Ford. Goes middle attack, and it's blocked by Alex Ford of the Niles North Vikings. On his head, motions ensuing. Not the serve. Number 2, Kieran 2. Gets over, picked up, and set outside. Great swing, but soars out of bounds. This was the type of hitting we were seeing in the warm-ups. You know, we had the 2 lines for the Vikings just getting some quick bumps and hits in. And then you all of a sudden see a ball soar over their heads. It's coming from the Ramblers during warm-ups. So we're seeing that now in the game. Mellowed down a little bit, picked up by Don Bartlott on the save, and free balled over by Ford. Ford on it again as Selig tries to bring it down. It is going to be out of bounds, and it is still a close one. Ramblers up 22-20. Number 17, the lib for the Ramblers, now serving. Picked up by Kieran 2, taking a bit off, and here's Ford. Great spot. Disagreement between the line judges, but the official call is going to be inbounds. Yoshi, did you see that any better?
Yes, it was an amazing hit. It seemed to curve towards the end, making the angle difficult, but it definitely was on the line or just barely out of bounds. So overall, good call.
Yeah, the Vikings are going to take it. There was Ford with the stuff. Tries to get it again, but this time is read by the Ramblers. They send it out of bounds. Ramblers number 15 now serving. 23-21 is the score. Here's a big one picked up by Selig. And right side attack from Ford goes right through, but picks up some air and goes out. Now set and match point for the Loyola Academy Ramblers. Another big one. Picked up on the floor by Selig. And middle attack from Octon Arrow. It's going to be a point for your Niles North Vikings. And that is the move, Octon Arrow. That efficiency, every time he touches the ball, it's golden. It's like Midas, right?
The golden touch, absolutely. It is strong, it is fast, and it is most likely going to get a point for the team.
Here's Ford. That made me nervous. As the Ramblers tip, there's Ford. And Ford tries to hit it over on the second point, or second hit rather, and it is going to be a win for the Loyola Academy Ramblers. Your final score, Ramblers 2 sets to the Vikings 0. First set score is going to be 25-16 in the Ramblers' favor. Second set, a nail-biter. Ramblers take it 25-22. And what a game we had here, Yoshi. What are your thoughts on the Vikings' performance?
It was a close match, and they really adapted on the second set, especially missing one of their key hitters. They really put up a fight, and, yeah, the score definitely shows that. Against a team that is third in the state, I believe you said, this was a very impressive showing. Unfortunately, we did lose, but it should not be a loss to be sad about. It should be a learning experience to bounce right back and beat the next team.
Yeah, most certainly. Very unfortunate, though. You know, I mean, that is the storyline. The Vikings trying to come back that second set, just falling short. And, I mean, lots to talk about if you're head coach Andre Shaw or Alan Tom. But, I mean, you got to give it up for the Ramblers. Great attacks, scary attacks. The Vikings just not quick enough to pick it up. With all that being said, we are going to end the night here. Your Vikings take a loss, 2-0. If you want to see some more Viking action, don't forget to subscribe to NN Viking Media. You can always access us at nnvikings.com. My name is Anthony Bramley.
And my name is Yoshiro Waldron.
And we hope you have a fantastic night.